Have you ever had earwax removed and thought, why does this hurt so much if it's just wax? It's not like pulling out a splinter, but sometimes it can feel pretty close. My name's 𝗪𝗪𝗿. I'm a doctor of audiology, and I've helped hundreds of people in the Toronto area to achieve better hearing and solve complex cases of hearing loss. And I've performed thousands of wax removals. And today, let's break down why this happens. Now, I will say, earwax removal is a process that usually shouldn't hurt. In most situations, earwax removal is actually quick and painless. But there are certain situations where people are going to experience discomfort. And the reason has everything to do with ear anatomy. Your ear canals are extremely sensitive. They're covered with thin layers of sensitive skin. And underneath that skin is bone, which can sometimes mean there's not a lot of wiggle room between the instrument used to take out the wax and sensitive nerve endings in the skin. That's why even a small touch can feel sensitive. Every now and then I get somebody sitting in my chair who, as soon as I start to perform the wax removal, without really going too deep, they jump. And it's often just because the skin in our ears is so sensitive. If we've never had wax taken out before, it's a new experience, and sometimes we're unsure of what to expect. When wax sits in our ears for a long time, it can start to harden. It can start to stick to the skin in our ear canals. Sometimes if it's deep enough, it can start to apply pressure to your eardrums. So when that happens, removing the earwax slowly pulls away on the skin, creating some discomfort. It's kind of like if you think about ripping adhesive tape off your skin, or like picking a scab. And so this is usually why I recommend to people before coming in for a wax removal appointment. And of course, if you're comfortable doing so, or you don't have a history of ear surgeries or ear infections, or a hole in your eardrum, using some room temperature mineral oil, olive oil, or a wax softener that you buy at the drugstore can help. It does make the process of removing the wax slightly easier, but if anything, it makes the process of removing the wax more comfortable for the person, because instead of that wax being hard and stuck to the skin, it's softer. And so that way, when we go to remove it, instead of having to peel it away from the skin, moves away much easier, but also more comfortably. So that's something to keep in mind if you're ever going into a clinic for wax removal. And of course, inflammation will make it worse. If someone has been using cotton swabs or digging in their own ears or using an at-home removal kit, the ear canal can become red and sensitive and oftentimes just inflamed. And inflamed skin is more sensitive. And usually we can tell. I can often look in someone's ear and know if they've been trying to take out the wax on their own, because often it'll be red, it'll be a little bit scratchy, or we'll have spots that look like bruises from bumping into the ear canal accidentally. Kind of like brushing your teeth or flossing your teeth just before you go to the dentist, hoping that everything looks spick and span. We can often tell. So when the skin is already sensitive and inflamed, so the wax removal isn't necessarily the problem. It's more so the case that the ear was already irritated. Here's the good news. When wax is removed properly with the right tools and the right technique, most people feel immediate relief. It happens time and time again in the clinic chair, where as soon as the wax pops out, everybody just breathes a sigh of relief because they can feel the difference. So if earwax removal for you in the past has ever been painful, doesn't mean that something went wrong. It may just mean that the wax was hard or your skin was already irritated. So if you enjoyed this myth-busting breakdown, then subscribe to Cut the Noise, and honestly, share this video with someone who still thinks cotton swabs are the way to clean your ears. And of course, make sure to like this video on your way out.